Some bigs in the financial world this week will be taking the stage and getting on the mic. They're usually pretty hawkish, so you better have some dry powder ready. The big news that came out of XRP Vegas was Brad saying, yo, we got to work with the BTC maxes. Bill Murray's going to help us out with that. We're going to talk XRP price action along with...
I say lots of naughty things, so here's your warning.
We got institutional outflows. And what were your big takeaways from XRP Las Vegas? Because it wasn't the price action, because that sure as hell wasn't juicy. But before we get into the crypto news, your comments come first. Why? Because you, the viewer, matter most. G. Bishop says, Pop-Tarts, take them down, Klaus. I think that's going to be the next target. And here's the deal. If we take down Pop-Tarts next, I'm not going to eat Pop-Tarts. We're going to do something fun. We'll blow them up. We'll light them on fire. We'll run them over. Maybe we'll bring out the Pancho Pistolas and do a little pew-pew on them. We'll have some fun. Frankie D says XRP is jumping on the BTC train so we can survive is the way I see it. That's right. The big news that came out of XRP Las Vegas is Brad says, yo, we got to put our differences aside and work with them. BTC isn't our enemy. Yeah, except if you ask Saylor, Saylor will say BTC is it and that's it. The little old man says Genghis Khan even showed Muhammad respect before he butchered and killed him. XRP is Genghis Khan in this scenario. Well done, dude. That's why I shared your comment. Well freaking done. Blue Horseshoe says cats and dogs living together. You know who we got to talk to? These guys.
Earthquakes, volcanoes,
The dead rising from the grave.
Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
That's right. XRP holders, you got to play nice with BTC. Oh, I don't know, everyone. Bitcoin's sitting at 105,055 ETH, 2517, XP at 215, while it is at 676. You want the most up-to-date news? Hit the notification bell so you don't miss out. All right, so what's happening this week? You got Fed presidents, Dallas heads, Chicago heads, all sorts of players coming out talking. They're talking on Monday. They're talking on Tuesday. They're talking on Wednesday. And on Wednesday's the big one. Beige Book, 2 p.m. on Wednesday. You got a trade deficit report coming out. You got employment's coming out. You also got consumer credit reports coming out. But the big one this week is Wednesday, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, Fed Beige Book. CPI report is the big one that the Fed looks at. The next big one they looked at is the Fed Beige Book. By the way, keep an eye out for Wednesday, June 15, 10:15 a.m. Bostic and Lisa Cook are on the mic at 10:15. This week, big Fed presidents, they're usually pretty hawkish about this. Now, they start talking about leaving rates higher for longer, definitely can push the market down further in the red. Saylor took to Twitter, and so have I. My Twitter information is linked down below. Saylor says your portfolio needs a strategy. He's throwing shade. Why? Because he's looking at the 3-month return saying, look, MicroStrategy's 3-month return is up 44%. BTC is up 22%. Apple down 17. Amazon down 3. But do you notice he doesn't list other cryptos there? That's my point. You got Brad saying, yo, you got to put our differences aside. We got to support BTC in the community. We got to not treat them as rivals. We got to treat them as partners. Yet Saylor out here won't ever say anything good about any other crypto in the marketplace. In fact, do you know that Saylor will go as far as saying there's only one crypto and that one crypto is BTC? He calls the rest of them scams. Yeah. And Brad wants us to play nice with Saylor. Saylor also said this. Orange is my preferred color. You know why? Because my guy is buying more BTC. But let me point something out to you. You see these orange blobs here? The bigger the blob, the bigger the buy. So when BTC was at its lowest, do you notice he really didn't buy much down here where my cursor is? But he bought the most at the tip? It's almost like Saylor FOMOs himself, right? I mean, think about that. When BTC was floating around the 20,000 mark for a long time between July of 2022, November of 2023, he didn't buy that much. But boy, when BTC went 90,000 and above, he's been buying. So is he his own FOMO enemy? Yeah, the big news out of XRP Las Vegas sure as shit wasn't the price, because when we look at the price over the last 7 days, dang, girlfriend, that certainly wasn't there to pump up the price. The big news was Brad saying, yo, we need to be looked as partners, not as rivals. How do you feel about that? I've been reading the comments. That's why I share them in the beginning. Some of you out there are like, yo, this is bullshit. What is Brad doing? Brad just waved the white flag. Some of you out there think this is strategic 4D chess. Some of you out there are like, yo, this is what we got to do to survive, then that's it. I don't know. I'm at a loss. And the reason I'm at a loss is I do think Brad has got good strategy. I think he's done things right overall. The problem I got is I don't trust Saylor. Because when you look at Saylor, he is a maxi through and through. He has never said anything good about any other crypto, period. In fact, when you look at all of his posts, he rips on crypto, period. All he talks about is BTC being the only crypto. BTC being the only one worth it. BTC is the only thing out there. That's it. So for Brad to be like, yo, we're not rivals, yo, we're not enemies, I get that. But if the person you're saying it to still wants to step on your throat and crush your windpipe, are you trying to make friends with your enemy, the enemy that still wants to kill you? I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below, because I gotta be honest with you. Cats and dogs living together. What the fuck's going on? I said it earlier in the video. We had outflows 2 days in a row. We broke a streak of 31. I think it was 31 days in a row of inflows. Overall, though, if you zoom out to the year, look, it's mostly inflows, all right, which is good for the overall crypto market. Volume, sucks, but we get it. It's Sunday after the big things. You are starting to see BTC kind of rebound in price-wise. We're going to be paying attention to the markets tonight. We're going to be watching the futures market tonight, along with early tomorrow morning to see if anything pops out. XRP volume back to that 1.75 billion mark. I told you that my weekend targets are right around the 1.7 billion mark. We've been seeing that play out. Volume did dip quite heavily once XRP Las Vegas ended. I think a lot of players, myself included, were hoping for something juicy to come out of this, but really nothing too juicy came out of it. I mean, there's a lot of like rah speeches and stuff like that, but did anything really come out that you were like, dude, this is cool stuff? I gotta be honest with you, I didn't see it. I didn't hear it. And to be honest, if you look at all the announcements that came out, all right, cool, some people are building on XRPL. Yeah, this is good. Yeah, that's good. But it didn't do anything. A lot of you get what I'm saying? So here we are sitting at 216 price-wise. So the XRP convention that happened between the 30th and 31st didn't do what anything? Didn't do anything price-wise for us at all. But Brad says, yo, BTC isn't our competition, they're our friends. But Saylor says, fuck friends, you're our enemy. BTC's the only one. So yeah, I'm really confused on what to think with Brad Garlinghouse and Saylor. Because the reality is Saylor doesn't care about anything else other than BTC. He calls every other crypto out there a scam. So it'd be like the United States wanting to kind of cozy up with the terrorist group saying, look, we're your friends. And the terrorist group is like, okay, you're our friends? Give us some money. Give us some weapons so we can shoot you with those weapons. That's what it seems like. And yeah, this might be a strategic 4D move. Yeah, this might be Brad trying to figure out a way to survive in this crazy world, because you are seeing a lot of governmental support with BTC. You are seeing a lot of, institutional capital with BTC. You are seeing a lot of corporate capital with BTC. Maybe this is a way that XRP has to survive in this wacky world. But right now, I'm looking at this going, dude, I don't know. Unless I'm missing something. So let me know down below if I am missing something. Otherwise, I'm going with Bill Murray, and I'm thinking this is crazy in biblical proportions. Cats and dogs living together. This upcoming week, well, no, it's Sunday, so it's the week right now. The week that we're in right now, though, you got a lot of Fed presidents talking. After that, you go CPI data. Oh, gosh, hopefully it's going to be good. Hopefully the Fed presidents and the big heads this week aren't too hawkish. Gold market tonight. I'm going to be watching that very, very closely. I got to see what happens to that. And I'm also see what's going to happen in futures tomorrow morning. I'm actually going to get up super, super early tomorrow morning because I'm going to watch futures. I want to see what happens. I also want to see what happens volume-wise. I want to see if we get a nice, strong uptick this week volume-wise. I'll be very curious on that. But let me know what your thoughts are down below. And Pop-Tarts. We won't be eating them because they're squares of chemical paste. But we'll do something fun with them. So let's make Pop-Tarts our next target. Maybe we'll blow them up. Maybe we'll shoot them. Maybe we'll run them over. Maybe we'll do all three. Maybe I will do a Pop-Tart destruction compilation video when we beat them in subs. That'd be kind of fun, wouldn't it? So choo-choo what? Choo-choo Biznachos and choo-choo Biznatch Oz. And remember, June is June. Thanks, everyone.